Can you squeeze a K20 Z3 into a 1990 Honda Civic? If that question has ever kept you up at night, you're in the right place. Welcome back, race fans. In the first episode, we stripped the EF down to its bare bones. If you haven't seen the video, click the link above. Today we are going to clean the car, followed by prepping the engine bay, and finally giving this 34-year-old girl some paint. My plan is to shop vac out all the dust and jet wash the car with some degreaser and soap. There is also a few things I need to take off the car, like the rear hatch, get off the mirrors and all the hooks and stuff so that the car is basically stripped. If you're enjoying the series and you find this helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to me and helps me out. Here I am MacGyvering a system using tyre dollies and pallets to more easily move the car. Let's see how it holds up. Now we can begin to clean the car. As mentioned, this requires a strong degreaser over pretty much every surface of the car, followed by a jet wash.
Okay, so cleaned the car with the jet wash yesterday. As you can see, didn't come up exactly perfect, so I'm guessing another blast is going to need. But the biggest problem was in here. There's so much dirt. Yeah, I moved it around, but then it all just dried again. So I'm guessing I'm probably going to have to jet wash this again and then suck it out with the shop vac to try and get all the dirt out. Yeah, you can see how it dried again over there. So, first things first, my sketchy, what's it called? Dolly system didn't work. So I guess I got to get that fixed out and then give it another blast. So let's get at it.
So now that she's clean, it's time to start stripping the engine bay and prep for paint. First, you're going to see me wrestle and struggle with the brake proportioner. My first bit of advice here is reattach it. Don't take it off, as most of these fittings are rusted in and you need the proportioner to be solid and steady. On top of that, use a lot of deep creep / liquid wrench to make your life a lot easier. The last thing you want here is the ends of the brake lines to strip in the wrench. Therefore, you'll have to cut them off and put new fittings on. A real pain in the ass. There we have it, the proportioner valve is off. I now need to remove the brake lines from the front wheel wells. Once I've done that, I'm going to remove the brake lines altogether, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the bracket off the proportioner valve, flip it around so that I can get it mounted on the engine firewall. With the brake lines out of the engine bay, the next thing to remove is the wiper motor. This is attached with 4 bolts with 10mm heads. One of them is a bit of a pain to get to. Okay, so now is the time I'm going to get the engine bay prepped for paint. Here I'm just using an orbital sander with 120 grit sandpaper. There are a lot of misconceptions that you must take it down to bare metal. This is just not the case. All you need to do is scuff up the surface so that the new paint adheres to it. One thing I will say though is now's the time to treat any major rust. And realistically, the only way to treat rust is to either cut it out, grind it off, or put on a rust inhibitor. So I'm using a flapper disc just to grind it away. Once you've got everything sanded down, now is the time to go around with the degreaser to try and get rid of all the grease and grime that's accumulated on the car over the last 34 years. The last thing I'm going to take off and out of the engine bay is the passenger side engine mount. This mount is not required for a K-swap. The plan here is to drill out the spot welds and then pry the engine mount away from the frame rail. The top spot welds were very hard to reach as the suspension strut area was in the way, so this little sander was the best way of doing it. There you go, she's off. All I'm doing now is a flapper disc, get rid of any sharp metal and sanding it down to make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, where I like to do my paint jobs is, this is a down and dirty race car paint job, so trim clad. I don't really care for the insides. I get rid of everything I don't need. And get rid of all the loose debris. And then it's a light paint, just a light sprinkling, let it get tacky, and then get in there pretty solid. So there we go. Nice long strokes if you can do it. Now obviously if you're painting a real car or a show car, you're not going to be using kind of track line. So I would say take a lot more time. Painting is all in the prep. Right, let that tack and we'll come back to it. Alright, let's get our fucking deep in this shit. Engine bay paint. The first stage of painting is to use an acetone to wipe all the surfaces, blow off any excess dust, and now I'm in there with the primer. As with the wheel wells, I do a thin coat of primer, first to get it a bit tacky, then I go back in there and give it a nice thick coat. I took my time to mask off the wheel wells as they had been painted. I might have to go back in and touch them up afterwards, but now it's time to prime the main engine bay.
Alright, so primer's done. It's amazing what just a lick of paint, even just primer, can do. Even though this end is all caved in still. It doesn't look too bad. Right, next stage is colour.
So the bay is finished, and you can see what a major difference a bit of paint can make. In the next video, we'll start putting everything back into the engine bay, and we will also install the engine. See you next time. Thanks for watching.